each function, determine possible equations f and g so that you have the composition of functions. And this is actually a really, like, you know how we sort of cheated in the last lesson where we made things like just all zeros or all ones so we didn't have to really think because it wasn't really useful. This is actually really useful for calculus. The ability to recognize that one function is inside of another function. So what we're going to do is we're going to talk about seeing that function inside of another function. My outside function here, I would say, is being cubed. What's inside is an x minus 2. So what I'm going to do for A is I'm going to make my inside function x minus 2. And then after you do x minus 2, what happens next? You cube. So that makes my outside function x cubed. We imagine, I mean, it's kind of like order of operations when you do inside function, outside function. Does it make sense that first, you're going to, whatever you put in, you're going to subtract 2 from it? Then whatever you get from that, after you get that, then you're going to cube whatever answer you get. So that tells you what's your inside function, what's your outside function. Okay? And it becomes really important in calculus, because in calculus, we're going to be taking the derivative, and sometimes we have one function inside of another function, which has a whole set of derivative rules that we need to do, but we need to be able to recognize. Again, I don't think it's crazy hard, because you're sort of thinking about operations. What would you do first? That's your inside function. And then what are you doing next? That's your outside function. So same thing in B. Order of operations. Can you see that the first thing you would do when you put an x is you would add 3 to it? Right? Whatever number you put in, the first thing you do is you'd add 3. Whatever answer you get, what do we do to that answer? We square root it. So our first machine would say, I'm going to, whatever you plug in, that looks terrible. 3 plus x, and then my second machine, after I do that, I have to square root. And sure enough, if you put in an x, out would come a 3 plus x. And if you put a 3 plus x in here, out would come the square root of 3 plus x, which is what we want. We want it to come out exactly what the equation says, but we want to recognize which function is inside, which function is outside. Okay? There's a way to cheat on this one too, but this is actually important, so I almost, right? I wonder if you can figure it out. Can you figure out if you made the first function exactly what you wanted it to be? What would you make your second one? It's not going to be 1, because if the function is 1, then every time you put something in, 1 comes out. What would be in that second one so that it comes out the right way? It would just be x. You plug in 5, out comes 5. You plug in this, it would come out again. So this just keeps everything the same. The wonderful function. Just the function that keeps everything the same. Okay, questions for practice on this one are 3, 7, and 9.